So this is my first Micromaille project that I've ever done. I was just sort of screwing around with some 22 gauge sterling silver that I bought from Hobby Lobby, and I decided, well, 22 gauge is too small for anything I'm used to, so I decided to do some Micromaille. And basically Micromaille is classified among, chain mailers as anything smaller than 22 gauge wire and a ring size that's smaller than 1/8 of an inch. These rings were wound on a piece of 14 gauge wire, the kind that I use for my armor rings. I used it as a former for these rings, and 14 gauge is about 8/100ths of an inch wide, or 2 millimeters, so a 2 millimeter inner diameter for these rings, and there wasn't a whole lot of spring back, so that should be pretty accurate. So yeah, but I decided to make a JPL 3-in-1 chain, gen spinned linkage right here, and it turned out pretty well. And the funny thing is, though, is that a lot of people use a magnifying glass or something, and I didn't do that for this. Some of them also use like tweezers or really fine pliers. I just use the ones that I always use. These, except the ends of these, these pliers have teeth and those don't. So on here I took some tape and wrapped it around the ends so that I could use the ends of the pliers, but they wouldn't scratch the rings. So, but yeah, it took a lot of concentration to work with these tiny rings, especially since it was 22 gauge, which is a lot weaker than what I'm used to. But I made this chain in maybe an hour, but it's not really that long. I mean, if you look at it compared to my thumb, it's maybe 4 inches long. 4 inches of chain. It took an hour to make. There's quite a bit of time, but if I get some more of this wire, I could make like a really nice necklace out of this, I think. And yeah, but that's Micromaille for you. And some people go a lot smaller than this, but I don't think I'll venture much smaller than this. But then again, I also said that about 1/8 inch 20 gauge, so who knows. By the way, this is like my new favorite kind of chainmail weave, because it used to be Byzantine for bracelets, but this is pretty awesome, this weave, because it's a nice tight spiral looking weave. Only problem I have with it is that on one side it can be really flexible, but then on the other side it's really rigid like that, and it doesn't bend very much. But because of that, it naturally tends to, go to this side that does bend, because that is the easiest way for it to bend. So it doesn't really matter that much, but it's just a minor concern.